So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. Florida was front and center when President Joe Biden signed an historic executive order to protect transgender and non binary kids from state laws that stripped them of protections and inclusion. Xavier Gomez, a recent high school graduate who organized school wide walkouts and protests against Florida's anti LGBTQ legislation at his Miami Magnet school, was there to introduce Biden. But first, he spoke to a cheering crowd about his experience growing up different. Gomez went on to explain that he had an escape from the harassment in the welcoming classroom of his openly gay fifth grade teacher. Earlier this year, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a law that would ban instruction on gender identity and sexual orientation in grades K through 3 and in higher grade levels if that instruction is deemed not age appropriate or not developmentally appropriate for students. His administration also moved to ban the gender affirming healthcare from transgender and non binary teens, and in 2020, DeSantis signed a law that banned trans feminine girls and women from competing on school sports teams. Biden's order seeks to advance equality for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex individuals. Quote, today, unrelenting political and legislative attacks at the state level on the LGBTQI plus children and families in particular threaten the civil rights gains of the last half century and put the LGBTQI plus people at risk. They also stated that it likens state anti-LGBTQ laws to the criminalization that LGBTQI plus people face in some 70 countries around the world. The order seeks to, quote, combat unlawful discrimination and eliminate disparities that harm the LGBTQI plus individuals and their families, defend their rights and safety, and deliver the full promise of equality for the LGBTQI plus individuals. It targets so-called conversion therapy, a discredited practice aimed at suppressing or changing someone's sexual orientation and gender identity or expression, and it seeks to strengthen support for the LGBTQ plus students in schools and for the LGBTQ plus individuals and families in healthcare. Regarding schools, the order requires Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona to develop and release simple policies for supporting LGBTQI plus students' well-being and academic success in schools. It states that it will use the Department of Education's authority to support the LGBTQI plus students, their families, educators, and other school personnel. Quote, targeted by harmful state and local laws and practices. DeSantis administration responded to the president's comments via email stating that discrimination and bullying aren't tolerated in Florida schools, regardless of any student's gender identity, sexual orientation, or any other characteristic. A spokesperson went on to say that the administration will defend their laws and that while the Biden administration is free to express disagreement with those laws, quote, the federal government does not have the authority to overturn the laws. And on Wednesday night, the same day Biden released the order, at least one local government implemented the state's parental right in education law called Don't Say Gay laws by critics. Palm Beach County School Board voted to adopt a policy into the district's curriculum to be compliant with the laws, but school board members assured the huge showing of LGBTQ plus people who signed up to speak out against the law that they would do what they can to implement policies that could help mitigate the law's potential harmful effects. That could include directing all teachers to read the district's LGBTQ plus critical support guide and go through more detailed training on how they can support the LGBTQ plus students. Max Feening, president of PRISM, a South Florida youth-led LGBTQ plus nonprofit group that started out of Boca Raton Community High School, spoke against the policy at the board meeting. He urged board members to take a stance against the law and stand up for LGBTQ plus students the way the district had always done for him before. I'm going to say it like this. That's great for them. That's great for those groups of people. That's great for their family, for their friends, for their coworkers and all that. That's great. That's awesome, right? This is my problem, right? As you were able to hear directly from the article, right? At least in Florida for this example, right? They have curriculum. They also have a guidebook specifically catered, right, for, right, the LGBTQ community and how it is that they can be allies, how it is that they can help, how it is that they can teach, right, and how it is that they can deprogram certain things. But within the same frame, right, of teaching people, right, in the same mind frame of teachers being supportive of certain groups of people, I ask as a black man, right, where is the same support when it comes to the black community? Where are these guidebooks where these teachers can directly go to, right, to gain information on how they can become better teachers, better allies, so how they can, unlearn, right, certain types of bigotry, discrimination, and racism, right, while they proceed to teach, right, within the black community, while they proceed to make money directly from the school district and the government, who black people are directly giving their tax dollars to, right? How is it that you have a whole nother group of people, right, who in a sense, for all intents and purposes, when I'm dealing with, looking at laws and different things and representation, right, they've basically been here for like 30 plus years, right, meaning for representation, but black people have been here since the very beginning. But yet you don't hear the same type of lingo. You don't read the same types of articles. You don't have anybody saying, here, school system, here's this book that the black community created. This is going to give you the types of teachings, that we want. This is how you can be a better ally. This is how you can learn that bigotry, discrimination, that racism that, you were taught from the people in your community, and that's, carried on for oh so long. This is also a guide on, how to get past, all those falsehoods and those lies, right, that have been pushed for oh so long. This is how you can do better for us. But yet, you see, for the LGBTQ community, they have these books, right? They have this education set in place where people like, hey, you got to know these pronouns, right? So before kids know, in a sense, anything else, you're teaching them pronouns, right? And none of this stuff is going to really have anything to do with a kid paying his bills, managing his bank account, going to college and deciding, the type of curriculum that he wants to do, or trade school, right? Or how to become better at, let's say like physics or calculus, right? Or the things of, in a sense, raising a family, right? Or how it is to become a better man or a better woman in life, right? Or what it would detail when it comes into food, water, clothing, shelter, right? None of that has anything to do with that. But you have people out here that are saying that this is as important as everything else out here, right? So, like I said before, I'm trying to get black people to pay very close attention to what it is that is taking place. And I'm trying to get black people to wonder and start to question why it is that if black people voted for Biden, why is it that there have been no executive orders for black people? Why is none of this basically transpiring? Why is none of this happening? And the one main thing that I've told black people before about the reason why this is not happening is because the LGBTQ community has a few things that the black community doesn't. One, no matter how different they are, guess what? They're still going to sit up there and come together. right? So there's power directly in numbers. Number two, the LGBTQ community, what? They also have money, right? So on top of them grouping together, no matter how separate they may be, right? How many individuals they may be and different things of this nature, no matter how many pronouns they may have, they still come together as a group and they still pull money together in order to put it into politicians' pockets so that they can get laws and legislation basically inked and signed so that it's out there so that people have to respect them. So that even if you disagree with them or you have all these other opinions, you have to respect what's basically there. You have to respect how this is getting done at the end of the day. And this is clear cut something that black people are not doing. So, like I said before, as black people, we can complain all day about all of these things that are transpiring with all these other groups and different things of this nature. But the main thing that they are showcasing here is that no matter how different they are, no matter how separate they are, no matter how they have their individuality or whatever you want to sit up there and call it, they still come together as a group. Black people are the main and only group on this planet that want to quote unquote try to be listed brand wise as a group, but they want to be totally separate and complete individuals, don't want to sit up there and share money, don't want to take responsibility, and don't want to come together for nothing. And this is clear cut a major case of why it is that the black people stay losing and why it is that every other group out here stays winning.